Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about the Houston Texans and why they have found two gems in free agency. There are two players that I really am excited for that the Houston Texans have picked up this offseason, and they're playing the same position this next season. Well, they've played this position their whole careers, and for the spots that they were drafted on in the same draft. They have been considered as busts, which I think is very fair to the point when, if you look at the spot they were drafted at, I think a lot of people would consider them busts as well. Drafted third overall and drafted ninth overall in the 2020 NFL Draft. You have Jeff Okudah, and you also have C.J. Henderson, who were drafted to the Detroit Lions and Texans division rival, Jacksonville Jaguars. Those two guys, C.J. Henderson and Jeff Okudah, definitely as two guys who, were top picks, top 10 pick, and C.J. Henderson top 3 pick, and Jeff Okudah, and they were disappointing. Just it's not like they played terrible. They didn't play great, but they didn't play terrible. But for a top 10 pick, for a top 3 pick, they were not living to their expectations, and both failed with the team that they were drafted with. Okudah was didn't take. I think it took him 2 seasons for him to get traded to the Detroit, or three seasons with the Detroit Lions. Then he gets traded to the Atlanta Falcons before the last year of his contract. It only took 1 season or 1.5 seasons for Jacksonville to let go of C.J. Henderson. Spent 2020 season with Jacksonville, rookie season, and then 2021 they traded him to Carolina. But the reason why I love these two signings, these are also one of the reasons why, is these are 2 really cheap signings for the Houston Texans, and that's one of them. That's one of the reasons why I love this signing for the Texans. But these are 2 guys who had a lot of talent, going out of college, with Jeff Okudah going to Ohio State, and also C.J. Henderson, I think, went to Florida. If I'm not wrong about that, I'm pretty sure, Florida for C.J. Henderson. They had a lot of talent outside of college, and I really feel like both guys in their career have had, not the best system. They've not been in the right systems defensively. Look, C.J. Henderson, I know the Jacksonville Jaguars are in a better position now, but 2020, 2021, they were not. Urban Meyer's their head coach for part of that time. And, not in a good system at all defensively in 2020, 2021 with Jacksonville. And then 2022 and 2023 with Carolina with Frank Wright and Matt Rule. Those are terrible systems. So a guy like C.J. Henderson joins a D'Amico Ryans defense, not only is D'Amico Ryans such a great coach, but very underrated. He has a great staff with him. So great defensive staff. Matt Burke as defensive coordinator, D'Amico Ryans as the as the head coach, but also running the whole thing and the staff. This is the best system either one of these 2 have played in their whole career. Not a knockoff to Detroit at all, but because I think they have a really good coaching system as well with Dan Campbell, but at the same time, look at Jeff Okudah, he was, earlier, his career was earlier, his career started earlier in the Detroit days. And then he joins Atlanta Falcons. These 2 guys are going to be, this is going to be the best system they've ever been defensively. It's going to be the best defense they've ever played with. Having guys like Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr. the defensive line, Christian Harris at the linebacker, and then you have these 2 guys as your corners. Obviously, you have Derek Stingley Jr., another top overall pick, 3rd overall pick as your starting cornerback 1. And I believe these 2 guys, C.J. Henderson and Jeff Okudah, will battle for that cornerback 2 spot. And I think it's going to be really interesting, position battle to see who wins the cornerback 2, and I think both players are going to play very well for the Houston Texans, and I think it's really exciting. I really do think it's exciting to see what these 2 guys will bring to the Texans, and And, knowing they both have talent, and, these two guys are fat. They're both fast. They turn well. And I think the Texans have the right system for them. I mean, Jeff Okudah, 13 games and 9 starts with Atlanta last year, 3 passes deflected, 44 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Season before that with Detroit, 1 interception, which was a 20-yard touchdown in 2022. If you go to C.J. Henderson this past season with Carolina, he played 12 games with 7 starts. He had 2 passes deflected, 1 sack, 39 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. 2022 with Carolina, 2 interceptions, 74 yards returned in 17 games with 1 fumble recovery and 58 tackles. I'm really excited to see what these two guys turn out to be with the Houston Texans. But I do believe the Houston Texans have found 2 gems in free agency. These are 2 guys who didn't cost a lot and have a lot of potential to become something really nice for the Texans. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And peace out. Go Texans.